Welcome back to Fast Market here on the Schwab Network. It's time for our cash tag segment. For that, let's bring in Andy Swan. He's co-founder at LikeFolio. Welcome back to the show, Andy.
Thank you. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. So we're talking earnings really ramps up this week. We had a bunch of different names to kind of talk about. I wanted to hit on McDonald's with you just due to the fact that we've seen that pullback of nearly 10% from those all-time highs in January. Are you guys seeing deteriorating data for McDonald's that kind of supports this slide?
Yeah, I would call it more deteriorating data of the consumer and just overall, exhaustion with price increases. The other day I was watching TV and saw an ad for Chili's, and they were comparing the cost of one of their meals at a sit-down restaurant to the cost of a McDonald's value meal. Not directly, but to fast food value meals. And I thought, man, we're entering just a completely different world here, where every other tweet you see seems to be somebody posting how much their fast food meal cost and how out of control that's gotten. I think, McDonald's has had to react in a really interesting way because they were trying to put out, an exceptionally high quality fast food burger, kind of compete with the Five Guys of the world in some ways, put a premium price on that. Well, it turned out to be really the wrong time to do that as prices started to explode. So now they've had to rewind a little bit and go back to, value meal pricing, trying to get people in the door with that and try to keep that ticket cost as high as they can. But there's certainly compression there. So when we look at LikeFolio data, it's really very flat, a little bit of a deceleration in terms of growth of mentions. The one thing that I will say that McDonald's has going for it that I think gets them through these types of periods, and why I think investors would be wise to look at pullbacks in the stock as opportunities, is that McDonald's customers are very loyal. Consumer happiness levels at McDonald's, despite all of the hate that the company gets, the consumer happiness levels at McDonald's are driven by the consistency of the experience. And, it's only Chipotle and Taco Bell that outpace McDonald's in terms of consumer happiness, which is a real achievement, for a company that gets as much hate as they do and sells burgers and fries rather than burrito bowls and tacos. So I think McDonald's is an exceptional executor. I think they know their customer really well. They're pivoting to a new reality in terms of input prices and how they have to handle that with their customer. But this feels like one of those moments where McDonald's stock is getting beaten up a little bit for what are very good reasons in the short term, but is creating a significant opportunity long term for investors that want to bet on a proven winner.
Andy, if everyone that said they never went to McDonald's actually never went to McDonald's, the company would be a fraction of itself right now. Because everyone does, and everyone young parent that gets a Happy Meal goes, yeah, throw a quarter pounder on there for me too while I'm here because it's so easy. But tell me this, their business model, which is different from Chipotle, right? Chipotle's they owns all their restaurants. I mean, McDonald's owns 57% of the land, 80% of the buildings. 65% of their sales are beef, chicken, and coffee. That covers a big section. And because of their business model, I'm getting to my point. Aren't they more predictable and stable in their earnings than some of these other companies? Because, like the movie said, they do have a different business model.
Yeah, they do, and it's an exceptional machine. This is a company that basically invented the business model that they have. They've, basically perfected it. They've taken it global. They continue to expand by adding new stores. And like you said, people can talk bad about McDonald's. They can say that they avoid McDonald's, and I get that. But at the same time, the numbers don't lie. When you are in need of a known entity and a known quantity and you want it fast, that's the place you go. The other thing that McDonald's has going for it that a lot of these other competitors simply don't have, you've got Wendy's out there, they have to advertise, if you get our app, we'll give you a burger for $1. They're having to run some crazy specials to get people to do that. Whereas, in our universe and what we cover, McDonald's and Chick-fil-A are the two fast food companies with drive-throughs that people rely on the app and the loyalty programs in a big way. And so I think McDonald's has a built-in advantage over every other competitor other than Chick-fil-A in terms of consumer loyalty via that app program that they have. They do a phenomenal job of marrying technology, convenience, and food quality for fast food is at least consistent and on the positive side of neutral.
Andy, your mentions on volume compare the past 30 days. McDonald's about 44% of that pie at this point. And I saw some of the happiness numbers. Not surprising to see, Chipotle winning on that space. But, as far as foot traffic goes, I think that's going to be the key for McDonald's moving forward is the weakness that they've seen is some companies were starting to say that foot traffic was starting to lighten up over the first quarter. Do you guys see any of that data that might equate to this? Because Chipotle had a really nice quarter. Their same-store sales grew 7%.
Yeah, I think that there's probably more concern for foot traffic on a global scale. In the U.S. and among English speakers, we actually see that kind of negative trends starting to reverse and maybe flatten out. I think McDonald's has done a good job of coming back to the market with some more affordable options that they can showcase and get people in the door. I think that one of the keys we're going to watch for on this report, because it will impact the entire sector, is the average ticket size and how much that customer is feeling the pain, because I think it is starting to get substantial. We're starting to see that across some industries, but especially in food prices and the cost of eating out, whether it's McDonald's or a fancier sit-down restaurant. Customers are really feeling the pinch.
Yeah, definitely. You got an earnings score for this one going into the report tomorrow morning.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're completely neutral on this earnings, but I would say, long term, this is a company that you probably want to have in your portfolio. So if we get anything on earnings that gives you an opportunity to scoop up shares well off of highs, I think you take advantage of that. All
right, great stuff. As always, Andy, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that's Andy Swan, co-founder at LikeFolio. All right, Kev, pretty surprising into an earnings report, even after Chipotle, that McDonald's is down